What's up, traders? Matt from the Trade Brigade here doing a technical analysis on ticker symbol M for Macy's Inc. On the left-hand side, we are looking at the daily time frame, and on the right-hand side, the 30-minute intraday time frame. First thing we need to point out is that we did get an earnings announcement before the bell on today's session, so that obviously drove a lot of momentum to the upside here on today's session. Starting off on the daily, just mapping out obvious zones of support and resistance, coming in and picking off some of these highs. Very interesting. We went pretty much right to this prior high and stopped back off a little bit, but more thoughts on that in just a moment. Zooming in a little bit more, you'll certainly notice this level here is important at around 19, we'll call it for whole dollar's sake, and then we'll put a floor in at about 1789. So shifting the focus over to the 30-minute time frame now, as we know, whenever we get a large expansion of range, it's generally useful to take out the Fibonacci's and just analyze all of the moves that happened on the day. So the reason I picked this high at first is because that's where the first red 30-minute candle high was. That's where the first pullback started from. Did it even come close to that 38.2? Absolutely not. So that strikes me as extremely bullish. We also broke this triple top, right? And we didn't even have to come in and back test that as support before continuing on to the upside. So the first move there was incredibly bullish right out of the gates. We'll clean that up and this time go from the low all the way up to the high of the move just to analyze the entire thing. Where's our 38.2? Just below that breakout zone around 21 the whole dollar, which we discussed. And as we pulled back into it, did we even make it to the 38.2? Absolutely not. So again, this strikes me as a very bullish move here, very strong close inside of Macy's. So we are looking for follow through to the upside whenever we have situations like this. The other thing that I really like about it is the fact that the volume was really increased. Now, obviously that has a lot to do with the earnings catalyst here, but if you just look back at this earnings catalyst, even, the volume wasn't even close to what we saw on today's activity. So I do think there's renewed interest in Macy's and we could see follow through momentum carrying in into the end of the week. So removing those Fibonacci's, I would say some plans to watch out for into the end of the week would be consolidation here, taking the break up and over 22.25, which we'll discuss some upside targets in just a moment. What that might look like on the daily perspective is an inside doji. Maybe it forms as a hammer, something like this. Even if it forms as some misshapen, something like this, anything that essentially holds 21 and consolidates under today's high would strike me as bullish up there above the 38.2. And again, you're looking for the breakout over 22.25. What are our targets up above? Well, if we scrunch this chart up, obviously if I go way, way out, what you can see is that, clearly this is what happened now almost a year and a half ago. No one likes saying the word on YouTube, so I'm not going to say it either. But upside targets, if momentum remains strong and this really gets going, you can clearly see there's a level here around 23. So just overhead, there is some resistance. But after that, there's kind of some room to run all the way up until 26, 24, as noted by these prior pivot highs all the way from back in here. So if this really gets going, if momentum's here and 23 gets taken out, look for some serious upside inside of Macy's. Just to point out, this does have a phenomenal options chain. Again, you can go long the shares, you can go short the shares, ETB right there, easy to borrow. But what I wanted to point out, of course, was the call side of the option chain and just look at all the volume that came in today. This is, plenty of volume to take some serious size inside of Macy's and get a little bit more bang for your buck than just trading shares outright. So that is available if that's something you're interested in. If you enjoyed today's video or learned anything new, let me know in the comments section or by giving the video a thumbs up. Don't forget our main channel is linked in the description. And all of that being said, I wish you a green trading week.